Alright, I finally think that it's time that we go ahead and make this little video today. We go ahead and make a nice little versus video. We haven't made one of these in a minute now, but I feel like today it's a fair enough time to go ahead and do one. So we're about, 6 days from the Cartels event, and our recent buffs have been obviously the calls and everything like that. We've done a good amount of videos on all of them now up to this point, and then that leads us over into the versus video between the Lucians Call and the Rowans Call. Now, obviously, if anyone who has watched the channel knows that I am a big fan of the Lucians Call. It has a special place in my heart. First ever weapon that we showcased on the channel. Very special weapon. It was really good. Most through all the way up until Mayhem 10 came out, and then it definitely got a buff that it desperately needed, along with the Rowans Call. The Rowans Call as well. Back when the game first came out, this thing was a pretty solid mobbing weapon and pretty strong. Mayhem 3 was a little bit chaotic with how the modifiers worked, how they changed every time you loaded into the game, which could be very annoying if you got something that was double negative against your setup. Maybe you're running a radiations Lucians and you get, I don't know, minus 34% weapon radiation damage and then minus 50% assault rifle damage. Stupid stuff like that in Mayhem 3. But it could be kind of annoying. Nowadays, that stuff's not really a problem because, we're Mayhem 2.0, and especially if you're like me, you play on only Mayhem 11, so the modifiers aren't, chaotic. It's literally just the extra scaled health, armor, and shield of the actual enemies. Now, even in the strongest Mayhem difficulty that there is these weapons still perform amazingly well, right? The Lucians Call, I would say, is definitely a lot more comparable than it was back in the day. Back when Mayhem 2.0 first came out, the Lucians was honestly just kind of nerfed. It just fell apart, honestly. Same thing with the Rowans Call. The Rowans Call honestly just felt like it just couldn't keep up with the modern day weapons. Now the Lucians is sitting at roughly 11k per pellet. You definitely want to roll two fang, or anytime you get extra projectiles with this thing you want to. It has a really nice magazine size of roughly upwards from the high 50s to the low 60s, and every time you hit a crit it's gonna refill 2 bullets to the mag and ricochet as well 2 bullets, which is obviously very, very nice. And it's not a Jacob's weapon, it's a flat off weapon. Now if we talk about the Rowans Call, the Rowans Call is kind of a bit more different. Its weapon mag size is a lot lower, but its damage is about triple the Lucians, which is big time, especially for bossing. Now, bear in mind that we are using these. They are both consecutive hits. We're both on Gorillas in the Mist style flag. You know what I'm saying? We made a video on this build called "You Called" like a couple days ago and stuff like that, but. The setup is basically with the Revolter, we're using a stack bots, and then we are also using double capstone in the green and red tree, and then we have an ASS for the Revolter, which is obviously very, very nice, allowing us to get 200% shock damage inside of Fadeaway, inside of Gorillas in the Mist, and then since the way both of these weapons have the same style of perk with their ammo, every time you hit a crit, it's basically infinite ammo inside of Gorillas in the Mist as long as you don't actually miss some of your shots, which bear in mind sometimes I do. And that does allow for some insane damage, especially from something like the Rowans Call, for Lucian's Call as well. But the Rowans Call having the triple damage just on the card alone is very, very strong, and it allows it to just absolutely melt bosses. Like even Moton, just these are just so strong. The Lucians, I would say, is a little bit better, maybe a little bit better for mobbing, just because its mag size is larger, so you're not going to spend as much time reloading it. For the Rowans, it'll be better at bossing the Lucians for sure. But I mean, just because its mag size is lower for mobbing and stuff like that doesn't mean it's. I'm not saying it's bad. It'll kill mobs a lot quicker, but you might be reloading a little bit more as well. So keep that in mind. But it will absolutely shred. You know what I'm saying? It's going to wreck shop. Both of these weapons will wreck shop on mobs. However, I would say that I might have to give that just a little bit better of a nod to the Lucians, just because the Lucians, its max size is just going to be a little bit more friendlier and geared towards that. Now, of course, bear in mind whenever you have Gorillas in the Mist activated or Fadeaway active, then that point might go out the window in a way because of how these weapons work with their ammo, as we mentioned earlier. And that's where it leads me to my next point of which one of these weapons I like better than the other. Now, as much as I love the Lucians and how like it's special to me, you know what I'm saying, as sentimental value, I can't argue that the Rowans just melts things a lot quicker. Even after these buffs, the Rowans I feel like is better, it's stronger than the Lucians. I mean, this thing is going in true Guardian takedown and eating up mobs. This thing, I mean, this thing can go into any content in the game. It can eat, it can shred, it can wreck face. The Lucians will get slowed down by some of the tankier enemies, like in the Guardian takedown, maybe against like, you know, tankier mobs or tankier bosses, stuff like that, like Psycho Reaver, maybe Sponge Boss, even Wotan. If you don't have a corrosive one, you're gonna have to find a little. You're gonna have to give yourself some form of corrosive a.s.a. For yourself when you're going up against armored enemies. With Lucians, I'd found, especially ones that resist cryo, like Wotan and Scourge. You know what I'm saying? It's very important. I feel like the Rowans is just because it's stronger, like base stronger, then you'll easily be able to do a bit more damage and kind of like brute force your way through some of the tankier enemies in the game, which is obviously very, very solid and very nice for sure, for sure. The Rowans Call, honestly, dude, is with this buff, it's built different. Like I made, like this thing is like rivaling like things like the Becca and the Monarch for, and like even the Soul Render for like best assault rifle in the game. It's that good. Whereas the Lucians, I cannot make that same argument for it. You know, Lucians is good. It's better. It's way better now. But it's not in that argument, it's not in that class with those other assault rifles, which is why I have to give the overall nod to the Rowans Call here. It just eats, dude. It just eats. Other than that, though, guys, that is going to just about wrap up the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please make sure to drop your low on that like button and subscribe if you're new around here, as we do upload daily content like this. So if you like Borderlands, you like daily content, then please make sure to subscribe, especially for when that Cartels event drop. It's going to be hella hype. Also, let me know what you prefer more, the Lucians or the Rowans Call. Other than that, though, guys, my name's Kree. Hope y'all enjoyed. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.